everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Fake Blood Reviews. I am your host, Tyler Kraft.
I'm Corey Curlis. Welcome back.
Oh, yes, we are back after a long hiatus. That whole fucking COVID thing has thrown a wrench into our releasing plans. And I also want to apologize to everyone for another release in the living room show.
That's
so
okay.
The studio's not done yet.
The studio will be done soon, and we'll be back very soon.
It's going to look sick, but just, cope with us right now. But we're still here doing the damn show. So, I'm really excited to do this episode. I've been wanting to do this episode since the inception of this whole fucking thing.
I know you have, yeah.
And it's our Exorcist episode.
Yes,
it's our Exorcist piece. It's like my magnum opus. It's the one I've been wanting to do, and I'm just so fucking pumped about it. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. So, the whole reason this came, because we were going to do a couple other things for you guys, and then, just sort of like, at a chance, it's the 30-year anniversary of The Exorcist 3.
One of the greatest sequels of all time, easily.
Greatest films, in my eyes, of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's one of my favorites, and I can't wait to tell you guys about that one. And also, some studio had the fucking balls the same day to announce that they are going to reboot The Exorcist next year. And I said that right.
Yes, absolutely. Reboot. This is not another sequel. This is not another work in the universe. This is a reboot.
Makes no fucking sense at all. That's like some of the most arrogant shit, but...
Oh yeah, absolutely. The balls on this.
So just so we can out these fuckers, the studio is Morgan Creek.
And what would our audience be familiar with from Morgan Creek Entertainment?
Just about everything, but not... Okay, so Morgan Creek did Ace Ventura, classic.
Liar.
You can't... I mean, if Jim Carrey did anything in the 90s, Morgan Creek definitely has something to do with it.
Yeah.
But, okay. And then, as I was reading down, their catalog... The Exorcist 3 popped up.
Absolutely.
Which is fucking weird because I don't remember a Morgan Creek credit in the beginning.
Maybe they possibly bought it up later on or something. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea.
So maybe I need to look at that. Anyway, and then also the prequels.
Yes. If you need to use use the word prequels plural. They are essentially the same film by two different directors. It's the Snyder Cut.
There's the Snyder, exactly. It's the Snyder Cut. Mm-hmm. One of them's the Snyder Cut. I don't really know which fucking one is, but the one we got in theaters was the beginning, and the other one's called Exorcist Dominion. Mm-hmm. It's the same fucking movie.
It's the same movie.
Alan Skarsgård and Bill's his kid. Yeah. Alan Skarsgård, and he plays a young Father Merrin, and it's just, again, it's the beginning. It's how this whole, him and the demon kind of don't like each other.
Yeah, him and Pazuzu's beef. How they started,
exactly. Yeah. That's when the smoke started. You've seen them both, right?
I've seen both of them, yes.
Which one did you like more?
I might go for Dominion only because I feel like it was the one that I maybe remember the most.
That was the one that came out after. Dominion was the later one.
Oh, yeah.
I think Dominion was shit. I think they made the right call going from the beginning. Dominion just had the worst effects, and it had, I don't know. Neither of them were great, okay, but it's still...
They're arguably the weakest parts of the Exorcist series. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no. 2.
Oh, God, I forgot. We're going to get to that. We'll get to that.
But they are a damn close second. And, also that show... Did you see the show?
So I was actually going to ask you about the Fox adaptation.
Okay.
What was that all about? Because that is something that I'm not quite familiar with.
I watched both seasons. They did go to 2.
Okay.
Only good thing about the second season is John Cho, and he was great. But when it started, it was not a step in the right direction, I don't think. And it has Gina Davis stars in it, and dude, she actually plays Reagan McNeil, but she changed her name so you don't know why this demon's going after her, and then she's like, oh fuck, it's Reagan.
Yeah.
And she ends up getting possessed again. And kills her husband, and it's crazy. But I don't know what happened to Gina Davis, and there's no makeup Dick Smith could have done to make. She's the scariest thing on the planet to me, dude. Lord. First of all, she's a giant woman. You can barely keep her head in the fucking frame anyway. But when she's just this bloated, fucking had too much work done, the poor thing. And I just watched The Fly the other day, and she was so pretty in that.
Absolutely.
Beetlejuice, and she's just all fucked up, poor girl.
God.
But she is undoubtedly the spookiest part about that series because the makeup wasn't even good. It just sucked. You guys, I mean, if you've seen it, you've seen it. And it got canceled, and I think that was definitely one of the smarter things Fox has ever done.
Yeah, that makeup was definitely on a Fox budget.
That's a new unit of measurement.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely, Fox budget. A new unit of measurement according here on Fake Blood.
Dude, I was on a Fox budget.
Fox budget, yeah.
We went out to dinner, but we were on a Fox Fox.
It was like a Fox budget
so
day.
Like, you know how that goes. I think when it comes to Fox moves, like smart things they've done, picking up Family Guy and dumping The Exorcist
are like on the same line.
of just brilliant moves.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my god. But yeah,
there actually is a Family Guy joke about Gina Davis's gum line that.
Does she have really?
Yeah,
Does she have a fucked up gum line?
So something is Stewie says it, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Stewie's got the sickest burn.
Yeah, he says something about her gum line. Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude, it's not her gum line. It's just her poor fucking. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll never tell anyone on the show not to go watch something.
Okay.
But
it's.
I did my time with it, but make your own opinion. You might fucking love it. That's the whole point. That's what's great about this genre. People will always have contrasting opinions. You'll not get a recommendation from me, but I'm not going to tell you don't experience it yourself.
Of course.
So that's going down the ladder. So we got the prequels out of the way. We got the show out of the way.
Now we go to the fun stuff that we need to discuss. Absolutely.
And we're going down the line. So we're going to do a reverse figure. We're going to Tarantino this motherfucker. So we're going to start with 3. Man, that is William Peter Blatty, who actually wrote the 2 books, The Exorcist and Legion, and it's based off of Legion.
Very underrated writer, by the way. If you're a horror fan, check out his books. He is someone who gets his due and totally doesn't at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's dead now, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I actually read The Exorcist, working graveyard at a bar, and there was a fucking. I'll save that for the actual when we get to The Exorcist.
Okay, for sure.
But I read Legion in the same bar, and Legion was less creepy, but more in a different way. I don't know.
Well, I would say The Exorcist 3 as well is definitely creepy in a different way. It's its own entity within the series.
Completely. It's so wonderfully different. And okay, so when you watch the third one, it should have been called Legion, but the studio wanted it to be called The Exorcist.
They wanted to really capitalize on that.
And there actually is like a very forced exorcism scene in it that isn't in the book, but they had to do it. And it actually came out okay. That scene at the very end, and
of course
you're going to lose this time. Remember?
Yes, of course.
But it kind of comes out of nowhere.
It does, and it is.
The priest might have walked in the fucking room with a fucking shotgun.
And
it had that
bam, yeah.
All the low shots, aiming up. He's all big, like just slug it out with this fucking
As like the early '90s Oliver Stone action scene thing going on, where it's all like everything's very visceral. It's like, wait, no, this was like a very thoughtful movie.
Wait, wait a second. We were watching a murder mystery, and then it takes some weird turn into like Christian warfare.
Yeah, absolutely,
Catholic warfare, rather. But that is the only thing. That's actually my only critique about that movie. And it's really not even negative. It's just kind of it's a bit of a blind side. Yeah. That's all. But it's fucking funny. So I mean, you can get a little joy out of it.
Certain enjoyment from it. Yeah.
The Exorcist 3. Why it's one of my favorites is because it is so underappreciated. It's William Peter Blatty, the author of the books. It's his directorial debut, and that's what's kind of cool because even though it is called The Exorcist 3, it's very much his vision. And it's because he wrote the fucking book. Yeah. So, I mean, he did a good fucking job. And it is more of a murder mystery.
It's like a police procedural. And a matter of fact, I in my head, I tie it a lot to the first Saw film, which has a lot of elements of police procedural, like the Danny Glover character looking for Jigsaw. And I feel like that's kind of where, not to veer into this, I'll make it very brief, but that's kind of where Chris Rock, I feel like, is trying to go with his his thing.
Spiral.
Yeah. But all in all, just saying, from the Book of Saw.
The Book of Saw.
Yeah, that sounds like
even a thing that was talked.
The Book of from the Book of Saw.
I want you to read my book.
The Book of Saw.
In the book, there's a marker. Chris Rock, pick up the. I don't know. That's a horrible thing. But that was such a. I don't know.
But tying that back, just the police procedural element in horror that you see in things like Saw and things like that, I feel like definitely was influenced by The Exorcist 3, which puts a great emphasis on the fact that it's almost like a Law and Order episode with supernatural elements. Very much has that kind of idea.
So the game's at the movie's at a 30-year mark right now, so we can give away some shit. You're just gonna have to deal with it. The story's really kind of loose. All right, so you have like at the end of The Exorcist when Damien jumps out the window and the demon's coming out of the girl, it goes into him. He jumps out. And he kills himself, rolls down the fucking steps. And where The Exorcist 3 kind of takes place is a serial killer called the Gemini Killer is being executed at like that exact same time as the demon's leaving Damien's body. And I essentially what the demon does is grab his fucking soul, jam it into Damien's dying body, and be like, you gotta finish this shit. You're a killer. You gotta, like, humiliate these motherfuckers because he's a priest. So eventually what happens is he comes back from the grave. He looks like Damien, and he's possessing people. And I don't want to give away the whole thing, but it's really neat. And Brad Dourif actually plays a Gemini killer. And
he's
the best part of that fucking movie.
Frightening.
Oh, he's
frightening.
So he's so weird.
He's so weird. Yeah, he has this very very much when you see videos of like serial killers being interviewed, and you have this creepiness to them that you cannot shake, that has a certain sense of realness. That is what his character has in this film. It's frightening.
He's so, but he's like genuine at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh God, Joe the Press. It's the Gemini killer. Gets so bored. Like and then he gets real sinister, and it's just one of the most wonderful atmosphere. He's so fun. Dude, that's one of his best performances.
Yeah, and it's hardly ever even talked about because I feel like he gets swept under because they're like Exorcist 3,
and also because he's the voice of Chucky.
Yeah,
so that's where you know him from, Brad Dourif, and he has a very famous mugshot. You guys should look up. That's Douriff. If you want to look that up, it's great. I think he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt too. Just
really?
Not giving a fuck.
I like him in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He has a great. It's phenomenal in that.
Brad Dourif's in that? Oh, he is in that.
Yeah, he's like a side character.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, again, his voice work on Chucky is kind of like, kind of the go-to.
It's
form.
the iconic. Absolutely.
And again, it's one of those things where it's like you glide right over the Exorcist, and you fucking shouldn't, because that's his magnum opus to me.
Yeah, I would say that. And you know what's funny is to say we're going through the Exorcist series right now, and to see all the people that are involved, even just in capacity with the series, when you were talking about Gina Davis, to see all the people that are involved in this series as a whole, and to think about the fact that Brad Dourif is this very integral part of the series that is really never even thought about.
And he could even come back because he plays a killer, and they could totally touch on that. And the dude, okay, I know this is about movies, but in the fucking book, it goes into his relationship. Why he's called the Gemini killer. Okay. Is he has a twin brother.
Oh, that's cool.
That he took care of.
Okay.
That was I think he was challenged or something at some point. And he would sing this song. This is fucking weird. He would sing this song to the Goodnight Moon, Goodnight Stars. And if you remember in 3, when he is passing out after getting his nose broken, he says he's like Goodnight Moon, Goodnight Stars.
Oh yeah.
And that's a reference to but he doesn't talk about his brother at all. And
but that's just like a callback to the book.
Yeah, and he kind of ended up pitying him, because his dad was. I don't know. That's all book shit. You're not gonna find that in the fucking movie. And you know what? We don't really talk about book shit, so I got a little carried away. But I like that.
That's all right. You know what? If it applies, I feel like that speaking about source material is always valid. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thanks for listening to me at least.
Of course, yeah.
Let me.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. Shit.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm here for.
So we have to give this one a rating too. I mean, we're on the rating system here. We kind of go on and off with that, but I need to give this one. In my opinion, I'm gonna. You know what? After talking about it, I think everything always goes up a half a point.
Of course,
it's getting an 8.5 out of 10 for me. Okay. On the third one,
I'll stay at an 8, but that's not out of a lack of appreciation. That's more just because that's what I had given it.
8.25 average.
8 sure. Yeah, absolutely. But I'll say this. Just for some formatting, since we did cover the series, the prequels, all that stuff, and the reboot, all that stuff, what we are doing in this descending order, as he just said, is that the top 3 movies, the main 3 in the series, are going to be getting a rating. So the 8.25 average is for 3. And then
not the fucking prequels. We're not worried about those.
That is only for 3, and that is so because we are going to be rating the top 3 in the series.
And that's it. That's all that matters. That's all the required watching.
That's the only everything else is peripheral. Everything else is peripheral.
I think this 1 and 3, and I know we have to go through 2. I fucking hate that goddamn movie.
And I think that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
We are now going to cover 2. 2, if you are a fan of films in general, I don't even know if you need to dip into horror. This film has come up as one of the worst films of all time. If Exorcist 3 is an underrated god piece, then Exorcist 2 is an underrated god piece. God piece. Then I would say that 2 is like shit in the toilet unflushed in this series. It is awful. Unflushed shit in the toilet of the Exorcist series is number 2. The Heretic. It's called Exorcist 2, The Heretic.
Exorcist 2, The Heretic. It doesn't even really hold an important, play. Well, I mean, because it was the studio wanted to pump out because of the success of the first one so quickly.
Yeah.
And the script is fucking horrible. You watch the movie, it makes no sense. It goes into
it's like Highlander 2 level, where it is cut to make no sense. It doesn't
the
even.
The
quickening, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Where it literally the next scene has nothing to do with the previous one. Like you don't really know what you're watching, and then furthermore, it doesn't. You touched upon this. You said it has very little to do with it. It is the least important part, I think, of the whole Exorcist saga. Even the prequels have more to do with an effect that goes on later on in the series than the Heretic. The Heretic is almost like a standalone film. It really is.
Okay, who's the actor in it though? The very Shakespearean. He that's his background.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, do that. Fucking he very over the top performance because of his classical background and how he was trained as an actor.
It's actually interesting to watch.
Not his fault.
Yeah, no, he's clearly a wonderful actor that was miscast and really gave it his all.
He really did. But it's really shit. And it still has Linda Blair. Linda Blair's back, reprising her role as this Reagan here. So also, this is for the YouTube viewers. If you're listening, you can't see this, but I'm wearing a shirt right now from the band Spite, and it's got Linda Blair on it. And they put her back in a similar makeup in 2, and it just looked fucking stupid. She aged a little bit. Her face
didn't work.
It just didn't look good.
Richard Burton,
who's known for Cleopatra, right?
Cleopatra. He is a Shakespearean actor.
Remember his line in that? Oh, Mark Anthony. How I envy his long arms. So when he's trying to kill himself with his gladius, right? That's just totally who he is.
And he honestly is probably one of the greatest Shakespearean actors of all time, and he has no place
so I'm not talking shit.
in an Exorcist movie. He's just so miscast.
Everyone needs fucking money, though.
Yeah.
And that's all that is. All right, you pay me, I'll fucking do it. But her in that makeup, and they.
On a Fox
budget. They let her do the voice though.
Yeah.
Come with us and die. And she the heart squeeze in, where she would tell. It's so bad. I don't even know what to say. That is something. You know what? It is required watching. You just gotta.
It's like taking the shit with the gold, because if you're going to watch 1 and 3, which are classics of horror, then you're going to have to subject yourself at some point in time to 2.
Yeah.
And that's an unfortunate fact of the matter.
But it's going to make you appreciate the other ones way more.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. Because it could have been bad.
If you like really bad really bad psychic-based horror, because some of that it has something to do with a psychic.
Oh my God.
Okay, so there's a movie actually by Brian De Palma called The Fury that came out in the late 70s, early 80s that is a psychic-based horror, and it's the same thing as The Exorcist 2, and but it's good. It's actually a halfway decent film. So if you ever, it's almost like if you want that, watch The Fury. But The Exorcist 2 is a takeoff.
Just
of that.
horrible.
It's awful.
It really has got off.
Fucking awful.
When I was a fucking kid, oh man, I'm gonna get into that when we talk about the first one. But I was tortured with that movie, with The Exorcist. All right, and it still scared me because they put her in the fucking makeup.
The makeup, yeah.
And even as a kid, I want to say it wasn't worse. I mean, I was about to say it, and it wasn't. But I couldn't deal with it because of the makeup. I can't look at that makeup. And now I have a fucking shirt with it. But I still hang up this motherfucker inside out.
I used to have a poster.
It's inside out.
Poster of that image that I put right in front of my bed, and I woke up to it every day, and it never turned off. I never got used to it.
I had a fucking nightmare once. This is more for the YouTube viewers too, but those fucking eyes, all right, of hers were at the foot of my bed, but it was just her eyes, she was leering and just staring. So I just saw that, and it was probably the worst moment of my life. I was going to say
that's more frightening than seeing the full face. There's something about that.
Yeah, because I know she's grinning behind it,
exactly.
Where my fucking feet are. Fuck that. That was horrible. Ew, right? You feel that a little bit?
Yeah, no, I feel it. I absolutely do. What rating? This is the moment of truth. What rating would you give The Heretic, Exorcist 2?
Ooh, I'd say a pair of 2s. The Exorcist 2, it gets a 2.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 2 as well. I'm gonna go 2 as well.
Tyler
Absolutely.
Craft says, don't check it out. But you have to check it out.
No, don't. I'm gonna second that. Do not check that out unless you're going through the trilogy. But watch 1 and I feel like since you do not have to follow any sort of real order, watch 1 and 3 and then decide.
Skipping it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, moving right along. Now we're gonna get to the creme of the creme here.
Oh yeah, the
All right.
King God here. Yeah.
The King God.
The King God
Of fucking all horror films.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna stand with that.
What
The
can
Exorcist.
boast? What can boast The Exorcist? And also, whenever something comes out, I remember when The Witch, which is probably one of the most influential modern horror films, came out. When that came out, the first thing everyone said was, this is like the new Exorcist. And
I heard that about Hereditary too.
Yeah, while I like Hereditary,
Did we ever do Hereditary?
I don't think we did. We did Midsummer, I know, but I don't think we ever did.
Talk about that movie. What a sack of shit that. Anyway, staying on point. Yeah, I think that was said about The Witch also. Influential, as you said.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you know what? All that did was just, write that dude out a fucking check to go make The Lighthouse.
Yeah. That was all that was. Yeah, exactly. He was like, I want to make The Lighthouse. They're like, make this horror movie.
God. Yeah, do this first.
Yeah.
Fuck. Anyway, the first Exorcist, William Friedkin directed that.
Director of The French Connection. Well, the greatest
French Connection, yeah.
Greatest directors of the 70s, and this is his great work.
And he wasn't a horror director.
Not at all.
You know
he's like a thriller director. He's like a detective thriller director.
So just when it comes to the history of The Exorcist, the allure, I think we all had that family or a friend growing up that that movie was not allowed in the house.
Oh yeah.
You were not allowed to talk about it.
My mother and grandma.
There we go.
My mother and grandma were not. It was like a blind. Like if you said it, there was like a silence.
Yeah,
that came
like
over
shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Do not talk about that movie.
Yeah.
That is bad, dude. I read this fucking story where this guy's wife, he was reading the book, The Exorcist or some shit, and she threw it out the window into a river, and he went and rebought it.
Oh fuck!
And ran it under the sink and got it all fucking wet.
And then
just put it in her nightstand.
Yeah.
Can you imagine just being a fly
I
on the
love
wall
that.
for that?
I love that.
What a fucking saint that guy is.
That guy,
so before we even get into
canonized.
the fucking movie, I did say earlier that I was tortured by my fucking dad, all growing up with these fucking films, and he was just the ultimate prankster with this shit. All right, I'm serious, dude. We had a subscription to Entertainment Weekly when I was growing up, and Fangorias would be kind of loose around the house, So whenever there was a spot on her makeup, this is a true story. He would cut out her, there'd be a shot of her on the bed, shot of her fucking just in any of this makeup, and he would hide it in my underwear drawer. He put this picture of her in my fucking pillowcase.
So you were just like,
yeah. And I'm just getting, I was just traumatized, and my mom fucking hated him for it. It was so fucking funny. But even when the Laserdisc came out, when there was the version you've never seen, which is the only one that actually featured the crab walk.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of people don't know that's not a classic.
Yeah, it's
that's
not
a
the
classic
original cut. And if you can imagine if it was, there would have been more vomit and people fucking passing out back in the day.
I don't even know if it would have got released with that crab walk.
It did. Well, that's the whole point.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when that came out, he swears I was in the theater with him. I don't think I was, because I don't think I'd ever let that happen. I don't think my mom would let it happen. But he was like, yeah, you freaked out in the theater. So maybe I blocked it out. Maybe I did put it in a little box in my brain, and I just don't know. But he had some friends over, and he had the fucking it was the DVD, but he had this surround sound system, right? And I was my time to go to bed, and he just cranked up the fucking volume when Marin gets in the fucking house, and she goes, that part, and I just started fucking crying, and I think I was 13, an embarrassing age.
But still, I mean, I can still feel that.
I cried and I yelled for my fucking mom. She came in and she was like, "God damn it, Michael!" I yelled at my fucking dad. And he's just having the time. It was him and my Uncle Joe in the room, and they're just watching Exorcist, getting fucked up, drinking, and just loving that. I couldn't watch it, but making sure I could hear it.
Yeah,
in my bed.
that it still affected you.
Oh my god! And
man, if I was 13, I'd cry too.
Oh, yeah.
As an adult, I don't think I'd want that experience. That's
dude. Yeah, you gotta draw a line somewhere. But if I'm absolutely going to do that to my children, 100%. 100%.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
They're so fucked with this, like, because it was, and now I look back, it's great.
Oh yeah,
it was fun, but at the time,
it's an influential moment to you, and it's a memory having to do with The Exorcist.
Yeah. I don't know if I should have gotten therapy. I don't know. I think I'm doing okay now. Yeah.
The fake blood is your therapy. Yeah,
and you can ask my dad now about that, and he fucking will just start cracking up. He's like, oh yeah, no, that was the best. That was the best shit ever. That's like his highlight of raising a kid. Was that?
Was using The Exorcist as a terror tool.
Oh my god.
Oh Lord.
Oh bless his soul. So, Jesus, that's now the story time's over. Fuck. That film is just again just.
It is when I say king god of horror films, what has been more influential? What has been more controversial? You were talking about how everybody has someone in their house that didn't even want to talk about. My mother and my grandmother, like the movie itself had like a power where they didn't want, like you can't say the word exorcist or else you're bringing something in this house.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, like
it was that much like presence.
Yeah, it had but absolutely, I feel like in the moment I was actually in a wax museum. It was the Hollywood, what do they call it? It was the one in Buena Park that was right next to like the Poe folks. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't.
Okay, it's in California. There used to be a wax museum. It's called the Movie Land Wax Museum. That's what it was, Movie Land Wax Museum. And they had a Chamber of Horrors. And I was maybe 7 years old. And I remember going through it, and I knew of The Exorcist, but I had actually never seen anything from it because it was just this word, this word you couldn't say.
Right.
And I remember going around the corner in this Chamber of Horrors, and I had seen, it opens up with Jason, and he has this thing and everything like that.
Right,
it was all
that kind of shit.
Yeah, it was all pretty digestible as a kid because I was scared, but I was also like knew this was fun and all this stuff. And then
it's kind of funhouse stuff.
Very funhouse type of stuff, and they're touching on movies. But Frankenstein was in it, and I wasn't too afraid. Matter of fact, a really cool thing. There's a House of Wax part that has Vincent Price and like the wax figures. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
So all very cool. And then we go around the corner, and my mom like grabs my eyes and like shields it, and I'm like, fuck no, I'm a little kid, and I'm like, well, what are you trying to shield me from? I gotta see this. And I look over to see this girl in a bed, with vomit coming down everywhere, and I wanted to fucking die at that moment because I was like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? And then my mom was like, that's The Exorcist. And I was like, and I was like, oh, that's The Exorcist. And it was like, that. I remember it wasn't until like 2 years later when I was 10 that I was like, okay, I think I can deal with this now.
I think I got it,
yeah.
I think I got it. Fuck, I was probably about that age too.
Yeah.
So, again, with what this film means to everyone, I think it's fucking so stupid to even consider a reboot. It ain't like fucking Batman where there's all these different tellings. There's like one fucking story to tell, and it was told in a very fucking perfect way. And whether you subtract from it, it's not perfect. If you add to it, it's not fucking perfect. Yeah. What it is right now is perfect.
Absolutely.
And I just like, what do you want to do? You want to add more CGI? You want to?
It's a very simple story. If you need to go farther than what it is, you're ruining it.
Exactly. Which is why Jaws will never. I can't even say it won't be touched because it probably fucking will.
Oh, it will.
Again, also incredible.
Spielberg has to die first, I think. But
oh my god.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing to say, but I feel like that's.
It's really not. Yeah. Whatever. Fuck it. I mean.
I did not like Ready Player One.
I actually love that movie.
You're like, okay, I have my issues with it. I don't, but I like that Spielberg did it.
But there you go. So you did it. That's good.
Yeah.
So, but when it comes to The Exorcist, again, we've all seen it. I just that movie just resonates so much with me, and just my like entrance into this wonderful genre, and it's just fucking wonderful. I absolutely fucking love it. So I mean, that's
absolutely
kind of that.
What would be the final score that you would give the original Exorcist? Since we're doing the descending scores.
It's a perfect 10.
Absolutely.
Absolutely a perfect 10.
It is a cinema and horror classic. Absolutely.
Right, and this timer is going off. We are about to run out of